Welcome to the Sauce Pod. Okay, so this is the first time that we're doing one of these podcasts, our Sauce Pod, as a video. So thanks for joining us here. And if you tune in normally on Twitter Spaces and you're here for the first time listening, thanks for joining. I am Taylor. I am your host of The Sauce, along with Anna here as well. Anna is our newsletter editor, content creator, amazing marketing genius all around. So it's awesome to have you here, Anna. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so we're going to talk about Instagram today. We've got Pinterest updates. Hello, Pinterest. Where has she been? Nobody knows. We don't know. We've got LinkedIn. And then, of course, we're going to do the Twitter updates, which it kind of feels weird to be talking about Twitter updates not on Twitter. Like
it really does.
The brick has been lifted from our chests and we can speak freely.
We're not terrified if we're going to get
we don't have to use code words.
Twitter. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So we're going to talk Twitter. We've also, of course, are serving up the goods on AI stuff. So ChatGPT, you've got like a couple little pieces there, right? Some news on what ChatGPT is up to.
What she's doing.
Guarantee that's not the end of we're hearing of ChatGPT. We're probably going to have more in it every week. Even Google's got some AI news. We've got TikTok's marketing calendar for 2023. We've got some social media ideas as well that you threw in here, Anna. And then that Last of Us Easter egg that I'm excited to hear about.
It's actually a little bit terrifying, but
So, Anna, let's get into it. Also, happy Monday, because today is Monday. We're recording this. How was your weekend?
It was good. I spent most of Saturday hungover. So I try not to do that normally, but it was
you gotta let loose once in a while.
It was a long week. Friday night, I went out with some friends, had some fun, and then was I'm not doing anything. Saturday, Sunday, I ended up playing this really, really obnoxious game called Hues and Cues. Don't play it.
Just the name sounds a little obnoxious. Very sus.
There's like 300 colors, different colors, like a shade or gradient of colors on a board, and they're all different little squares.
Okay.
And you one person draws a card and describes like the color on the card using one word, and then everybody else around the table has to put their little token on a square that they think describes that word. But because it's such a vast gradient of colors, no one ever gets it right, and I'm very competitive, so it just pissed me off. But anyways,
okay, so is this like a drinking game though? Like, is there alcohol involved or no?
With my friend group, yes. Yes.
Good.
But
I was gonna say I can't do that sober.
Yeah,
but maybe maybe if there were
you have to be a little tipsy,
imbibed incentives throughout the experience, I would be so on board. That's fun. Have you ever played King's Cup or
no?
Oh man, beer pong. I was a champ in my day. Let me just tell you, that's like the only sport that I know how to play.
Beer pong.
Yeah.
We should play it sometimes. We have to get together and play it.
Team pong. Oh, let's do it. Well, speaking of games too, we've been playing around in our Discord server. We have a games channel, and there's some spicy activity happening in there. People are getting kind of competitive over their daily Wordles. Now I've thanks to Wendy at the Sauce, I've recently discovered the joys of the New York Times mini crossword. Damn, I'm really aging myself right now. I sound like an 85-year-old woman. The mini crossword. But I gotta say, I've been able to do them all in under 5 minutes. So that's the whole goal of them.
I need to try these. Send me them.
These are fun. Yeah, you'll love this one.
Okay.
Especially when you're like me and like most people, I feel like in this day and age where nobody has a fucking attention span, and you're you get 2 minutes into a game, you're like, I'm out. At least that's how I am. I don't have the brain power for this. So I'll end up doing these 2-minute bite-sized games, and that is the way. At least for me.
There you go.
It's a good little morning wake-up routine as well. Let's dig into it. What the hell is happening on Instagram for creators right now? What are the latest updates we've got?
Yeah, so this one I have not tested out myself, but apparently it is already launched. So Instagram is adding a dynamic profile picture, which will automatically flip to show your meta avatar when someone clicks on your Instagram profile. So, you know how you already have whatever cute photo of you for your Instagram profile pic. Instagram is jumping on the meta avatar train and trying to, bring more people towards Meta's like next level vision of having these different avatars and getting everyone into the metaverse. But yeah, so now you're able to add whatever your avatar looks like onto your Instagram profile. Nice. You just go to your edit profile button, and there's like this little button to the right side where you can add that avatar. And then, yeah, like I said, your profile picture will automatically flip over to your avatar when people visit your profile. So
that's nice.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the Meta avatars.
Well, okay, I don't know how I feel about Meta in general. Yeah. That's probably the primary like thing that we should address. No, but I like that this is an option because it allows you to like actually make use of that avatar, and it's only your Meta avatar, right? Like you can't have like an alternate PFP like your NFT or something like that, right?
Which would be cool. Yeah. As of right now, no.
Okay, yeah. So right now, I would imagine that maybe like later down the line, that's the next logical step that they would take, especially because like Meta is already starting to play around with that, where you can like use your NFT as your profile pic. And even on like Facebook now, I think they allow you to have like multiple, kind of profiles in some sort of sense of the word, which is especially handy for going between like groups and when you don't want to like reveal your full identity all the time. Right. But damn, I really wish this was like an NFT, because that would encourage creators like myself who don't want to be like associated with NFT crypto bros at all time and like have my NFT as my profile picture. Like, I'm not about that life, but if this was an option, I would be so into it.
They should add it in. One thing I forgot to mention is that it's actually dynamic. So when it does flip over, your avatar waves, which if you play, I linked the video in the newsletter. If you play it, it's a little creepy, but
yeah, avatar. Yeah, let's put a pin in that one.
Yeah.
Not sure how I feel, so we'll have to like circle back and like test it out. I don't even think I'm not gonna test it out. I don't think
I'm not gonna test it out either. Someone else out there that's listening, test it out and like
test that shit. Yes, and screen record it and just like we don't share it. Yeah. Until Meta comes up with maybe some sort of a safer play. For folks like us who need that. But avatars aside, what else is happening with Instagram?
This one's actually really cool. So they're adding a lead form as a call to action button option on your business profile. So the update's not live yet, but allow any business profile to add a CTA button, which you can then create a lead form, and you can actually edit these queries to either be like multiple choice or short answer responses. It just gives you another way to actually gain real insight from your Instagram profile visitors.
It's like a custom lead form now, rather than just being constrained to like the standard lead forms or whatever it is that they already have. They're like pre-filled, and like I think it's like pretty basic too, because it's like the ones that they have that are built in there already is like order food, book now, reserve, and like those are really geared at like small businesses or brick and mortar businesses. But like if you're a creator, or you are an entrepreneur, or even a small business running like a digital brand, like you still want to be able to collect leads and not have to have it in like a reservation form or a book now form or an order food form, which I have to say I've actually seen creators do that up until now. So this is going to be like kind of a game changer for just like collecting those leads and saving that information, because I've literally seen people do like the reserve or like the book now, and it's actually like a subscribe to the newsletter or something like that, because they didn't have the other options. So this is kind of cool. I'm into it.
I think it'll be once it launches, it'll be a good one for everybody.
So it hasn't rolled out yet to everyone, right?
It hasn't yet. I don't think it's I think it's being tested now in like small groups. But it hasn't been rolled out to everyone.
All right. We shall see. All right. So let's talk about Pinterest. Haven't heard from her in a while. What's going on there? I know that there's like a new posting update, right?
I don't know if there's a new posting update.
Oh, no. Sorry. Tips that you were outlining.
Right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the blog I was reading, they were launching like 2023 posting tips for almost every social platform out there. And I found Pinterest really interesting because when you think about it, Pinterest has tried to distance itself from like the social media tag. And they,
Mhm.
call themselves a discovery app, and it works more like Google. And I think it's a way that you can, use for your brand to help people find you if they're looking or if they're searching visually. So the pointers I have on here, like using Pinterest trends, so you can hone in on key trend topics through this dashboard, that'll
Mhm.
help you to help enable you to formulate a more effective approach. And then add in like that pin detail. So this is like the SEO consideration where you add in your description. You can use up to 100 characters for your title. And then really, since Pinterest is such a visually focused app, think about, what kind of image you're putting in there. So for Pinterest, you want to use high quality vertical images with the
Mhm.
2:3 aspect ratio. But if you click in the link in the newsletter, it'll kind of
Mhm.
bring you through all of those different tips.
Nice. That's helpful. And we know that Pinterest, like a couple months ago, partnered up with some like big audio plays. We know that, or like some
Yeah, they
recording
they did.
labels,
I forget what the name of it was, but I haven't
hmm
seen anything come about of
like
that.
beyond that.
Yeah,
I
they
hope it's
talked
not just
about
another
it, but nothing
splashy
happened.
talk and not walking it,
Right,
but
right.
we shall see. All of which is to say that like Pinterest and really all platforms are putting a pretty heavy emphasis on video. I still really
Mhm.
only scroll Pinterest for my like to curate really ideas. It's like you said, the
Same.
discovery aspect.
Yeah.
There's no real social component to me. Or
Mhm.
there's really no like social component, I think, in general to Pinterest
Right.
unless you're using it as such. But for the majority of users, it really is about like that discovery, which to that point lends itself to like a ton of options if you are a visual brand doing, how to's, infographics, almost like real type of content or TikTok style content. I'm starting to see more
Mhm.
and more on Pinterest as well. And like you said, that vertical images just seems to be everywhere because I think that a large portion of Pinterest users are also doing that on mobile devices. So it just makes
Yeah.
sense. These are really great tips, Anna. Let's talk about LinkedIn.
Yeah, this one
Give us
I'm
the
excited
update.
about because when newsletters first came out on LinkedIn, I was all over it.
Hmm.
Newsletters, help. I think on LinkedIn, especially if you have like a bigger following, when
Hmm.
you first post that newsletter, it gets pushed to every single one of your followers to subscribe.
Hmm.
And LinkedIn is trying to kind of capitalize on that a little more. So they're trying to make it easier to find relevant newsletters in your niche, by adding an option for members to view what newsletters another profile is subscribed to in the app. So this is, a small update, but I think it is the beginning of LinkedIn putting a little more emphasis on newsletters.
I'm so into it. That is helpful because there's so many newsletters
There
on
is.
LinkedIn now. I feel like when was it? Was it like around this time last year or in like 2021 maybe? That
I
like
think it was
LinkedIn
last year.
pushed this out. Was it last year? They pushed out
Mhm.
this big update and it was like a frenzy for creators who were trying to grow and build an audience on LinkedIn because newsletters really offered like a really like specific niche way to do that in an easy way and boost numbers. And now it seems like at the time it was like the shiny new penny and it was really easy to create a newsletter. And I mean, it still is. Like if you're not doing a LinkedIn newsletter, it might be worth exploring. But now I feel
Yeah.
like they're everywhere. Everyone has a newsletter, whether it's actually on LinkedIn or whether they're promoting it on LinkedIn and it links to another platform like us on Substack.
Mhm.
Um, but that'll be nice to have some sort of like a discovery, feature to dive into that
Right,
a little bit more and
right.
find the actual newsletters you care about. Good update. Good update. All right, on to Twitter.
Yay, our favorite one.
I feel like I just like zone out. I actually suppressed Elon Musk in my Twitter feed last week.
Oh
Like just
gosh.
as a call out, like I muted his name, like you can't mention,
Oh
which by the
no.
way is a really great Twitter tip. if you're
I didn't
ever
know
like,
this.
I hear so much shit about this topic and I don't want to hear about it anymore. Like I did this. I don't want to hear about Kanye West. I don't want to hear about ChatGPT, and I don't want to hear about Elon Musk. No,
Okay.
I do want to hear about ChatGPT.
We like that.
Yeah, but like I saw a creator on Twitter just a couple weeks ago post something along the lines of like, hey, I'm going to be talking a lot more about ChatGPT, and I know some of you just don't care for this type of content. So here's how you can basically like opt out of ever hearing about this content on your, like your Twitter feed. And he gave like the step-by-step guide. So that was a great one. And I ended up using it myself to kind of get away from the whole Elon Musk. So since I haven't been paying attention, Anna, brief us on what's happening over at Twitter.
Yeah, so this is kind of Twitter's status quo, where they're at right now. So when Elon first took over, the app was losing around 4 million per day. So his main, I guess, purpose right now is to bring in more revenue, which he's trying to do through Twitter Blue. So as of right now, there's about 275,000 to 325,000 Twitter Blue subscribers, which is, a decent amount.
Okay.
So I found this math somewhere. We'll assume that Twitter is generating around 2.6 million per month from those subscriptions. So that equates to about 7.8 million per quarter, which is a lot, but it's, nowhere close where Twitter needs it to be for Twitter Blue to be like a relevant revenue driver. So they're still focusing on Twitter Blue. They're thinking to create a higher cost Twitter Blue tier that has no ads. So I don't know what the cost of that would be, but they are looking into that. And then verification for organization subscription offering, which will see businesses paying a monthly fee to get official recognition in the app, is another thing. And then we already talked about this. It's been a while actually since we talked about this, but Twitter is going to allow for longer video uploads up to 60 minutes, which I don't know how they're going to make this work. They're going to allow creators to monetize video on Twitter. And then this is a new one that I haven't heard of. Twitter Coins is something that they're thinking about launching, which is like Twitter's in-app payment and tipping process. So, each of these, has potential, but I think a lot will depend on how many people and businesses are willing to put their faith in Twitter, which we've, seen companies jump off, the ad tier and then come back. And
I am going to be really interested to see what Twitter's next quarterly earnings report looks like. I don't even know if they still have to publish those because of Elon owning the company. I don't know how that works, but if they do release a revenue report for an earnings report, I should say, for the first quarter of 2023, that would probably happen around like March, April.
Yeah.
And that's always a really good indicator of like where they stand overall, the true colors of it. But who knows? Like Twitter's all over the place. And I think that like slowly and surely I could see the writing on the wall of, this ultimately becoming the version of like Twitter 2.0 that Elon Musk outlined a couple months ago, saying like this is, kind of outlining his manifesto, if you will, for what he sees Twitter becoming. And it's like has many of the tunes of like a so-called super app, right? Where everything that you need is like under one umbrella in one app. And I even see just on the content side of things, how that move or adjustment is sort of happening already. Like we've talked last week about the For You page, which
nobody's happy about it.
Hold on to your damn seats, because it is an uproar. People are furious. Like over the last week, and I can't even tell you how many people have personally complained to me saying, have you noticed this on Twitter? And oh my God, I can't. Or I just put myself, I've seen people going private, like taking their accounts private. People are saying that they only check the following tab. Other people are like, I love the For You. And to me, that new For You page, like it's TikTok, it truly takes a page out of TikTok's book, I think. And the reason why I'm like reiterating all of this is because I see Twitter's For You page already like algorithmically starting to align to a more curated, personalized experience. And the more that Twitter can like drive in that value for people of, it's not just about who you follow or like what, you know, what you're doing and what niches you're part of, but it's actually about like how you're interacting with Twitter, probably on app and outside of the app itself, and taking into account all of these different things to create a truly like relevant, personalized timeline for you. That at a certain point, I could totally see it where a year, even, you know, shorter than that from now, your For You page is similar to like how TikTok's For You page is, where you just get that like, you get that super hyper curation, and that's how they hook you, folks. That's how they hook you.
It'd be nice if Instagram could figure that out at some point.
Yeah, Instagram, where you at? Why are you hurting us like this? But I will, one last thing I want to add when it comes to, you know, TikTok's new For You page. I did a lot of digging, did some research over the last week, really like listened to like a lot of the feedback that people were saying about this new experience on Twitter. And the content that continues to win out despite this new like For You page situation is the threads and the replies. And the replies and threads and like longer format content pieces of video as well seems to be performing really well and showing up on those For You pages, especially for, you know, people who are like hyper engaged with others. And, you know, those replies essentially are starting to trickle over in a more powerful way than they ever have. So if you ever questioned like, oh, well, I don't really need to be like engaging on Twitter, I just need to like tweet and get my shit out there, like definitely take a step back and reevaluate that, because the replies are getting a lot of traction right now. Retweets, on the other hand, is on the downturn. This has just been in my experience and what some people have told me. Retweets aren't showing up as much on the For You page. So to get a good idea overall of the kind of content that comes through on that For You page, it's not just people you're following, it's a whole broad mix of people. But if you're wanting to get a good idea, all you have to do is like hop on there and give it a scroll for like 2 minutes, and you'll start to see that there aren't a whole lot of retweets. There's a ton of replies, there's a ton of threads, there's a ton of like video content. So you'll see that mix, and that's the kind of stuff that you want to continue creating if you're creating on Twitter and you're, you know, with the goal of being seen, so that is Twitter's update. Yeah, we'll definitely have to like circle back on this, I think, next week, because it's a fast moving target on Twitter as always. But this is something that I think it's gotten a lot of people in a little bit of a twist. So we'll have to keep a pulse on it. But that's Twitter for you.
Good old Twitter.
What is going on with ChatGPT? We said we were going to talk about it. ChatGPT and Google has an AI. So what's the updates there?
Well, if you haven't seen it, I've seen it all over Instagram. People are talking about it. If robots do end up taking over and rising up against us, it's probably because we're putting them through a bunch of different tests.
Yeah.
So
we're literally educating them in school in like Ivy Leagues. It's fine.
Yeah. We're like, you know, learn this. Take over. So ChatGPT passed the medical, business, and law exams this month and scored higher than a lot of human students. So she didn't, or he, it, whatever ChatGPT is. Yeah. They received passing but not gold star grades.
Okay.
But it was they scored the passing grade on the 3-part US medical licensing exam, Wharton Business School exam, which is the final test of the MBA program's operations management course, whatever. And then passed 4 University of Minnesota law school exams in constitutional law, employee benefits, taxation, and torts. Which I actually don't.
My God. That's a lot.
So I think examiners noted that ChatGPT is much better at writing than it is math. Which, you know, same. I suck at math.
Yeah.
But it passed all 3 of those. So
that's insane.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Like, I wonder to what extent the people who are putting it through these tests actually had to like train it, or if it was just like the natural, like whatever, you know, machine learning it already had in place. So interesting though. I will say every week, every Friday, we do Heather Cooper, who's in this cohort that we're doing right now does a Twitter Spaces on all things AI and ChatGPT. So she does them like every Friday, usually in the middle of the day, Eastern Standard Time. So check what that is for you guys if you want to tune in. But those are always really like informative and deeply like educational when it comes to the latest advancements in AI, especially for creators, for, content entrepreneurs, for small businesses who are kind of testing it out and seeing how you can use those tools to like make the most of. So I know I'll definitely like pass this information over to her, but there's some wild stuff she gets into. So you guys should definitely listen to that. And even feel free to hang out and speak on it every week. Thank you for sharing that. ChatGPT is now smarter than literally all of us combined.
Yay. Yay.
We love you, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Get a new
You're
name.
awesome. In case you're listening. Yeah, get a new name.
Yeah. Oh, she's listening. They're listening. Yeah. So then what's the story with Google's AI with music?
Yeah, so they've created an AI that can generate music from text descriptions, but refuses to release it for the time being. So this new AI system from Google can generate music in literally any genre. But Google, I guess, is fearing like the risk because we've seen, I think we talked about it last week or the week before, lawsuits that are coming up against AI and that kind of stuff. I think music is definitely one where it's like pretty tricky. So the app itself is called Music LM, and I have it linked in the newsletter, and you can actually see some of the samples that the AI has created. But it's probably one of the first AI generative music apps that's actually been able to produce songs that are complex in composition and actually just sound good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Definitely check out the link and listen to some of them. I was vibing to them. I was like, oh, these are actually kind of good.
That's so cool.
So
it's crazy to me that like with the advent, not even the advent of AI, but like with this mass adoption of AI, probably through the like conduit of ChatGPT, because that's really, I think, what tipped the scales. But since this mass adoption of AI technology has taken place, I just feel like it's a never ending fire hose of like new tech to keep an eye on. And not just in like words and images AI creation. It's like all across the board. This music one is just one probably example of a million other ones that are already popping up. I saw somebody on Reddit yesterday posting a new AI that they had programmed or like created or trained themselves to recognize like chord structures in songs, and then like I guess reiterate what that is, like, which is like a really hard thing for anyone to do, let alone a robot. But it's crazy how widely available and accessible this technology is becoming just now to seemingly everyone. And there's now a solution for pretty much everything in an AI world. Not to say that you should trust all AI tech because there's a lot of like weird shit out there, and a lot of stuff that just doesn't exactly. There's like the blender bots of the world. Like you don't need that. But like there for all of the hundreds of thousands of new AI products popping up, there's bound to be some like serious gems in there. I think I can't remember if I mentioned it on last week's Sauce Pod or not, but something tools.ai, new tool.
Oh, you did mention it.
I did. Okay, then we can just.
I don't remember what it is. Yeah.
God damn it. What was it? It was something. It's like some product tools. I don't know. I don't even know. Yeah. So all of which is to say that like AI tools, definitely AI tech in general, isn't going anywhere. It's just getting better and more powerful. And hopefully soon we'll have a better way of actually vetting some of this stuff and knowing, what's good and what's not. But I digress. All right. So let's talk about the last couple things that we have outlined in the newsletter. Some snippets, if you will. I'll let you dive into those and take it away, Anna.
Yeah, so if you're not subscribed, I don't know how to say that, to our newsletter, you definitely should, because we got some cool links in here. So this one is directly from TikTok, which is TikTok's 2023 marketing calendar for small businesses. So this one outlines like pretty much every like popular like national day or holidays, and then gives you a whole paragraph of ideas of how you could apply that to your business and post a video about it. And they have like a little campaign planner in there. It's very nice. Definitely check that one out if you are on TikTok and want to use that as part of your marketing plan. Yeah, that one's really good.
Downloading it right now
for it.
Awesome.
And then the second one is 17 like fresh social media post ideas. So this one's directly from Hootsuite, but there's definitely some good tips and tricks in here. Some different like the one that I like is embracing the memes.
Yes.
If you see a popular meme, hop on that. I love memes. But there's some different tips, whether it's for like reels or YouTube shorts or that kind of stuff on there. And then the last one that I'm very excited, or not excited about, excited is not the right word, but if you type The Last of Us into Google search, there's like, I guess, this creepy Easter egg surprise. So if you type that into Google and wait for like half a second, do it right now as you're listening.
I'm doing it.
Mushroom will start to appear. Okay. You should see a mushroom. And then if you continue to click on the page, are they taking it off?
You see it?
Am I lying to you? It's not working for me either. I tried it out. I did try it out, and I sat for 30 minutes clicking on the page.
Okay, wait.
Maybe it's just Last of Us. Maybe this article is lying to us, and it's just this is like depressing. Do you see it?
No, I don't. Where are you?
Wait, did they take it down? Are we too late to showcase this?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Anyways,
we'll find a screen recording of it.
It was a fun Easter egg at one point.
I love when Google does those, though.
Me too.
They're so good.
They're really fun.
So good. Sick. All right. Don't forget, if you're listening to this, we are running a 12-week community building cohort. And this is the first time that we're actually doing something like this. It is totally organic. It's a free community building experiment, for lack of better description, where we're not only building up and growing our own creative community with the sauce, but everyone who's participating is kind of getting that opportunity to learn, to share, to have a platform, to connect, to get answers. And it's going to be a really cool experience. And it's starting this week. You can join at any point in time. And it's really a cohort for content creators and coaches, solo entrepreneurs. And again, that goal for that is really to just be able to learn together firsthand all the different tactics for turning online audiences into like genuine, real communities that, you know, not only like trust you and advocate for you, but also invest in you, because that's the whole goal of having a strong community. You can actually do something with it. It doesn't just go to die somewhere on the internet in some dusty corner. It's a community that can be part of your brand, your business, all of these things. So definitely hop into that. You can sign up by checking out my Twitter account or the Sauce's Twitter account. We'll make sure that all of those details are linked up there. We're hanging out in Discord all the time. We're hosting Twitter Spaces every week. So if you're missing us on Twitter Spaces, you can still find us there every Thursday. We've also got workshops and creator sessions happening every Wednesday. Some of them are live. Some of them are kind of like webinar style. But those workshops are led by like a host of amazing talent and creative pros, some of whom are already in our community, some of whom are special guests that we'll be announcing. And then, of course, we're always going to be adding stuff, but it's going to be a really exciting time. If you are listening to this and you're like, I not only want to participate, but I want to host a session or I want to host a workshop, get at me. Let me know. You can hit me up on email, on Twitter. You can find me on Discord if you're, sleuthing enough. I am around. And again, these are workshops and sessions that really matter most for content creators and entrepreneurs like us. So we'll talk about audience building, but we'll also explore things like content marketing and, a creator mindset and philosophy. We'll talk about tools and tech, and we'll also be doing some cool AI challenges because, like I mentioned before, you cannot escape the AI. So that's what we're doing. Definitely check it out. Meet some cool people. And yeah, it's going to be a really fun time. I think so. Anyways, if this is your first time listening, and you're new here, just know that the sauce, what we do, we're a creative collective of digital entrepreneurs, content creators. Our mission really at the end of the day is to be able to help anyone build an online business by knowing kind of the shortcuts of how to get there, the tips, the trends, the secret sauce for how to do it the right way. I think that about wraps it up for today, Anna. So I'm going to shut this thing down, but we are going to get this up on, again, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, streaming, Apple Podcasts. I'm sure there's probably a million
All
other
the
places that I'm
apps.
missing. Yeah, wherever you stream your podcasts, you can find us there. All right, we'll be back again next week. Thank you so much, Anna. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday.
You too.
All right.
Okay.
Peace and love.
Bye.
Hey guys, that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Sauce Pod. Hope you enjoyed yourself, maybe even learned a thing or two. Don't forget, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can also subscribe to our newsletter that goes out every Monday night. All of the latest and greatest tips, news, and trends for content creators and digital entrepreneurs. Until next time, stay saucy.